Hello, welcome to part 3 of the Christmas Cal, designed by myself and Linda Rose from the Crochet Sanctuary. If you've been following along and you completed part 1 and 2, you should, and this is quite difficult for me to show you now, you should have your blanket, which is looking quite big now. Yeah, it's probably not showing you very well, but if you've been following along, you'll have the same as me, albeit you might have the other colourway. Hope you enjoyed part 2. Part 3, you should have changed over to your yarn A, which for Christmas morning colourway is lipstick, and row 97 is just literally a half treble all the way across. Row 98 is a half treble all the way across, changing over to yarn B on the last yarn over. Row 99 is half treble all the way across, changing over to yarn A again on the last yarn over. I'm just going through this because I really don't need to show you how to do half trebles anymore, I don't think, I hope. So row 100 is a half treble all the way across. Row 101, half treble. Row 102 is a treble. Once we've done a row 102, I am going to come back to you and run through row 103, because this is when we start to see those large colour changing snowflakes come in. So what I want to do for row 103 is show you how we change those colours. Yes, so if you can carry on with row 97, half treble, row 98, half treble, changing the colour, row 99, half treble, 101 all the way to 100 and 101 is a half treble, 102 treble across. Then I'll come back to you on row 103. Again, these rows are ideal for checking that you have 145 stitches going across. You will need to have 145 so that we can get the large snowflake bit in part 3 correct. So if you carry on till 103, change over to your yarn yarn B. I'll come back to you then. Okay, so you should have completed all of those rows. You had a mixture of half treble rows and treble rows, and you should now be ready to start row 103. Now I need to stress to you, it is quite important that on each part you read the notes down the side of the pattern notes, because all along on the bobbles we have worked the bobbles on the wrong side of your work and they pop through to the front. On the colour changing bobbles, they are worked on the right side. So what we don't want you doing is doing these and then obviously saying they're not on the right side or they're on the wrong side. So pattern notes, odd number rows are worked on the right side of your work, even rows are worked on the wrong side. Colour change bobbles are worked on the right side rows. So you may need to poke them through to the front using your finger or your crochet hook. Turning chains at the end of the row don't count as a stitch. So on to row 3 now, 103. So these are colour changing bubbles. So we're going to have our normal yarn A, and what we're also going to have is the bubbles in a yarn B, which for me is cream. So it's up to you when you want to do this. However, some people might want to bring the yarn B in at the beginning of the row or bring it in a couple of stitches before. I was going to do it before and bring it in at the beginning, but I then realised that I wouldn't really have anywhere cream to be able to weave my ends in. So we're going to bring these in a couple of stitches before we do the bobble. So row 103, we first of all need to crochet 72 double crochets before we do our colour changing bobble. Now the colour changing bobble, you follow your stitches in your yarn A, but you change to yarn B in the last yarn over before you do the colour change bobble. then you change back to yarn A in the last yarn over. So I'm going to show you how to do that after we've done, let's say after we've done 70 stitches. So let's do 70 double crochet, and then we'll bring in our yarn B, and I will show you how to do the colour change bubble. So see you once you've done, let's say 70 double crochets in yarn A. Okay, so I'm back. I have just crocheted 70 double crochets. I have got my yarn B, which you will also need. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay my yarn B on just here, just alongside my work. And I've got a bit of a tail there. So there's my yarn B. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crochet over that yarn B, because we've still got two, oh hang on, what am I doing? We've still got two more double crochets to do before we do our bubble, but what we want to do is just bring it in that little bit earlier. So I'm just going to crochet over that yarn B and just catch it in. So we're just crocheting over it, so that's secure in place. There's the tail, and you can just see it's secure behind there. And I'll just work my next double crochet in my yarn A. So there we have, I'm not going to finish that one though, sorry. This is my 72nd double crochet. Now what I'm going to do is yarn over with my yarn B. So we'll yarn over with a yarn B. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to push the red bit aside. So that's aside. And what we're going to do in the next stitch is work our bubble. So I'm just going to give that a little bit of a tug to make sure it's secure. Okay, so in the next stitch we're going to yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, into the same stitch, pull through a loop, pull through two. So we've done our two part trebles, if you like. We'll do another one. So we're not finishing these off. And we want to do 5 part treble crochets in total. So we've got one more to go. There's your last part treble crochet. Now on the previous bubbles that we've done, we've then yarned over and we've pulled through all those loops on the hook. Just give that a bit more of a tug. What we're going to do on this one is we're going to leave the yarn there. We're going to yarn over with yarn A and pull through all of those loops on the hook like that, and then give it a tug. If you find that your bubble pops through to the back, you're just going to have to give it a push through, but just make a double crochet in that next stitch like that, and then pop it through. So there you go. That's the one and only bubble on this row. So I've done a double crochet there just to secure that yarn A in, and I will do another one. And what we're going to do now is work 72 double crochets all the way across, chain 1 and turn. What we can do now is just before you carry on with those double crochets is just give that yarn B a snip, and then it's entirely up to you how you do this, but you can secure that and just weave your ends in. But I think it's easier to do it now joining in the middle, even though I disagreed with Linda originally. She will be laughing now, she's watching this. But it just means that you can bury the yarn inside that bubble. So just carry on working all the way across until you've completed your 72 double crochet. So if you carry on doing that all the way across, for row 104 we're going to be working a treble all the way across. So if you just carry on with your 72 double crochet, when we get to row 104, it's literally a treble crochet all the way across in yarn A. When you get to 105, I will come back to you on row 105, and we'll, it's because look at that, I'm just crocheting through a camera lens, sorry. When we get to row 105, we've got a few more of these colour changing bubbles, so we'll work through those on row 105. But yes, carry on and I'll see you then. Hello, and we are back. You're just about to start row 105, so hopefully your bubble is looking like that. I have weaved my ends in. How good am I? Weave my ends in, I work my treble row. There's my bubble from the previous row, from the previous tutorial. So the next part of row 105 is to crochet 63 double crochets. I have actually done mine already. I've done 60 of them. The reason I've done 60 is, if you can just pause me now if you want, and I'm going to join in my cream yarn and show you how to do the next, well, it's exactly the same as before, but just to show you again how to do the colour changing bubble. So I'm just going to join my yarn in, my yarn B now. But if you haven't done your 60 bubbles, you want to pause this and then carry on, then please go ahead. But I'm going to join in my cream yarn. So I'm just going to lay it onto my work there. That's it. And then I'm going to work my another 2. Because remember, on that 63rd, we're going to do the last yarn over with the new colour. So you see, I'm just locking in my yarn B there, and I'm just about to do my 63rd double crochet. But remember, I'm not going to finish it off with the yarn A. I'm going to push that to the back, bring in my yarn B, and I'm going to finish off with the yarn B. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my bubble stitch with the yarn B. So remember, we yarn over, insert the hook into the stitch, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We're not going to finish that off. Yarn over, pull through, then pull through 2. So we're going to do 5 partial trebles where we're not going to finish them off. So that's 3 partials. And 4 and 5 is the last one, and then make sure I pull through 2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my yarn A. Where have you gone? There you are. And I'm going to just pull that yarn A through all of those loops on the hook. So just give your yarn a bit of a tug, and then start to work your double crochets again. Now remember, it's quite likely that the bubble is going to pop through to the other side. If it does, you just need to just give it a squish or pop your hook or your finger through the back. So that was the next colour changing bubble. Then we're going to work 5 double crochets. I've already worked 1. I'm not going to fasten my yarn off because there's only 5 double crochets in between each bubble, so I'm not going to fasten the yarn B off. So that's my 2nd double crochet, my 3rd, my 4th, and my 5th. And then we're going to do another colour changing bubble. So I'm not going to finish that 5th stitch off. I'm going to push my yarn to the back, my yarn A, bring in my yarn B, and I'm going to finish that stitch off with the yarn A. Just give that yarn A a tug. So we're going to do the next colour changing bubble. So remember, we're doing 5 partially finished trebles. So you should end up with 6 loops left onto your hook. So how many have I done now? I can't see myself. That's 3, 4, I think. How many have I done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, I've done them. I've done them. So I'm gonna pull that yarn A through all of those loops on the hook and just give it a tug. And then we're going to work, so that was 5 double crochet. Then we're going to do a double crochet twice. Okay. So that's my first double crochet done, and I've popped the bobble through. Okay, that's my second double. So we've got a bracket here, so it's double crochet 2 and then a colour change bobble. So I've actually just made a mistake because I should have finished off that last double crochet with the correct yarn. Sorry. Okay, so let me just, there we go. So it wants us to do that twice. So, right, so let's do the next bobble. So remember it's 5 partial trebles. So this is 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Then we're going to bring yarn A and we're going to pull that through all those loops on the hook. And then we're going to work 1 double crochet. So I just need to pop that through. How gorgeous are they? Pop that through. So that's 1 double crochet. Then the second double crochet, but we're going to finish that because this is the repeat on that little in those brackets. The repeat starts with the 2 double crochet, colour change bobble. So we're going to do the 2 double crochet, then another colour change bobble. So I've done, this is my second double crochet, but I'm going to finish that last yarn over with my yarn B. And then we're going to work, oh, I've made a right mess there. What have I done? I've split the yarn. Sorry. That's it, give that a tug. Okay, so into the next available stitch, we're going to work that next bobble. So that's 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So we'll bring up the yarn A and pull through all of those loops on that hook. Just give that white one a tug. So then after we've done those in the brackets, so we've done those which started here, so it was 2 double crochet, bobble, 2 double crochet, bobble. We then need to do 5 double crochets. So here's my first one, which kind of secures that bobble, and then you just need to give it a, to make it pop. Need to do that one as well actually. Okay, so it's 5 double crochets. So there's my first one, there's my second, my third, fourth and fifth. Now we're going to do a colour change bobble. So on that fifth one, we're going to finish that off with yarn B, and then we're going to make a bobble in the next stitch. So remember that's 5 partially finished trebles all in the same stitch. That's 3, and 4 and 5. Finishing that off with yarn A. So the pattern then tells you to work 63 double crochet. So I'm just going to pop my first double crochet in there just to secure that bobble. It's popped through to the other side. There you go. Okay, so we've now got these bobbles. Once you work your way through the rest of the pattern, you will see that these bobbles will make a gorgeous snowflake. And I'm hoping this kind of starts to look a little bit Scandi then. That's the idea anyway. Also on the next row, when you do your next row of trebles, that is going to help these to pop a little bit more. I'll do a couple more double crochet, then fasten that off and then weave in the ends for this row. Yeah, there you go. So it's 63 double crochet all the way across, and then row 106 is trebles. So in between each row you're going to have a row of, in between each cream or white bobble row you're going to have a row of trebles. This really will take you to, you'll finish your last one, your last bobble on row 123. Then it's a row of trebles all the way across. Then row 125 is a half trebles all the way across. 126 is half trebles, but changing over to a yarn B on the last yarn over. On the last stitch. 127 half trebles all the way across. Yarn A, then changing to yarn A. 128 is half trebles all the way across, and so is 129. What happens then is that would be the end of part 3. After that you will be working on stitches that you have already done in parts 1 and parts 2. So if you get stuck on any of those, we would just refer you back to parts 1 and parts 2 of this tutorial. So yes, I kind of think the tutorials are done. We've kind of showed you everything that you need to know. We think we've hopefully taught you some new stitches. We've taught you, if you didn't know already, that is, we've showed you how to do mosaic. Yeah, you should have a gorgeous blanket at the end of it. So I hope you've enjoyed the tutorials, hope you've enjoyed watching, and hopefully you've learned something. If you have any questions or queries, then please visit the Facebook page, which is All Things Crochet Sanctuary, and there are quite a lot of people that will be able to help you on there if we don't get to you first. So thank you for taking part, and don't forget to share pictures of your blanket on Instagram. Yeah, tag us in at the Crochet Sanctuary, and enjoy and have a good Christmas.